Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Guru Chara Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Chara Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bandhu Visharvadana Mate Bandhu Visharvadana Mate Yahara Prashari Bahai He Bhavaturi Ajahai Yahara Prashari Bahai He Bhavaturi Ajahai Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoita Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoita Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kuriya Laikya Aranakariha Mani Asha Aranakariha Mani Asha Shri Guru Charan Riyati Esha Uttamagati Jai Prasade Pure Sharva Asha Jai Prasade Pure Sharva Asha शकदाना दिलो है जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से है दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशिता प्रेम भक्ति आहते अविद्या विनाशयते प्रेम भक्ति आहते अविद्या विनाशयते विरगायार चरिता विरगायार चरिता श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदमर जानर बंधु लोकनाथ लोक रजीवाना आहा प्रभु कर दयो दे मोर पद छाया Evias Tribuvana Aha Prabhu Karadoyo Demore Padachaya Evias Tribuvana Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gur Haribol, 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 Nitai Gur Haribol. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shakshuron Militam Jena Tasma Shri Guruve Namaha Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namah Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Aditya Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gura Haribol. Nitai Gura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gura Haribol. Shri Shri Jagannath Puri Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja ki jai. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only means by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is an ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Nrsingadev Jaya Nrsingadev Jai Prahlad Narayan Prahlad Narayan Prahlad Narayan Jai Prahlad Narayan Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Sringadev Bhagavan ki jai, Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So welcome to our Sunday Love Feast program. We are very grateful and fortunate today that we have His Grace Govardhan Prabhu, who many of you know, I think. But for those of you that don't know him, Govardhan Prabhu is originally from Phoenix, so he's one of the founding members of the Yatra, like it is. But he's also the co-GVC for South Africa, or Southern Africa and Mauritius. He serves as the chairperson for the BTG committee internationally. He's also serving on BBT as one of the international directors. And now he's been opted onto the EC for ISKCON, so the executive committee for ISKCON. So Govardhan Prabhu is the second chair. So that means in 2 years' time, he'll be the chairperson for the International Society of Krishna Consciousness internationally, like it is. So we're very fortunate. We have such an esteemed person within our midst. So please take advantage of his Transcendental Association today. He's going to be here for a very short time, so unfortunately, he won't be able to chat with all of you after the program. He has another program after. So please pay attention to the class and then take advantage of his association. Hare Krishna. His Grace Govardhan Prabhu K. Srila Prabhupada K. We also have our regional lead, His Grace Deva Prabhu, with us, and he'll read a letter about ISKCON Bangladesh a little later on, actually. So His Grace Deva Prabhu K.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. So please chant with me and then we'll say something. Om Jnanat Mirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Shakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Vishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Aptakanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanushite Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Mukam Karoti Vachalang Bhangam Lang Haite Girim Jatripatam Maham Vande Shri Guru Dinastaranam. So together. Cheto Darpanang Marjanang Baba Mahadevagni Nivapunam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidhavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadan Purnamrita Shadhanam Sarvasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jaya, Gopala Jai Jaya. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gura Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Gora Haribol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. It's okay. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the new Jagannath Puri Sunday program. We're very happy to be here with you. There are two mantras we want to chant for auspiciousness, and then we'll say something. Should we chant it together? Ajana lambita pujo. Do you know this mantra? Kanakavadhato Shankirtanika pitaro Kamalayataksho Vishwambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunaravataro. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Gaurachandra Jaya Deta Chandra Jaya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Gadadhar Jaya Srinivas Mukunda Vasudeva Jai Haridas. Shri Shri Panchatattva ki. So dear devotees, we are assembled on the first day of December, which happens to be the first day of, in some countries, the first day of Prabhupada's summer book marathon, although it's winter in those countries. And many of us have personal testimony and evidence and proof and life-changing experience of the potency of the pages in Srila Prabhupada's books. You know, by the time we speak today, for the next 45 minutes or an hour, every 3 seconds, somewhere on the planet Earth, somebody receives Srila Prabhupada's books. So, in the next 3,600 seconds, which is like 60 minutes, 1,200 books would have changed hands. 1,200 potential invitees back to the spiritual world. Because the potency of Prabhupada's books is that Manda Yo. In Kali Yuga, people are short-lived, they're quarrelsome, they're unfortunate, they're unclean. But somebody, they get a book, it changes their consciousness in one lifetime. Somebody can be lifted from the Kali Yuga street and transported to the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, is there a process in the universe? Is there a process in the Vedas that could be more munificent, more easier than this? Not really. So this is all possible to Srila Prabhupada. Actually, Prabhupada appeared in this world one day after Janmashtami. That day is called Nandotsava. On that particular day, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are celebrating the real Janmashtami. Because in the spiritual world, there's no Janmashtami. But here in the earthly plane, we celebrate it. So it's that day that the devotees of Vrindavan, they welcome Krishna into this world. It's on that day that Srila Prabhupada appeared. It's an intimate celebration, and in line with our Gaudiya tradition, Gaudiya means coming in the tradition of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada appeared on this day. So he was destined, Srila Prabhupada was destined, he was sent, he was the emissary, he was the transcendental guardian, he was the prophet, the Lord's deputized agent to come amongst us. It's okay. Nothing to say. Yeah. Lord's deputized agent to come amongst us and give us something special. And the special thing that he gave was Srila Prabhupada's books. Now you know Bhagavad Gita as it is. Has touched the lives of millions of people. And you know of Krishna book, right? This morning we read from Krishna book at Radharana temple. I think it was chapter 64. Balaram enters Vrindavan. I wanted to share with you today how these two books have descended. They can appear amongst us as some ordinary literature. I'm hoping after I narrate the pastime of these two books, you would be as inspired as I in the summer book marathon to distribute one Krishna book at least and one Bhagavad Gita. You see, when Srila Prabhupada started, he only had BTG. Which in 1944 he started. So he would read the newspapers, pick up all the headings, and he would give commentary on all the social issues that were in the newspaper. He was so proud of his Back to Godhead magazine that in 1967, when he had his return pass to go back to the land of the Ganges, which is India, and Sumati Murarji asked him, was arranging his passage back. Prabhupada said, actually he's flying back, because by then he had started off a movement. But Prabhupada said, I will ask my disciples, Srimati Murarji, to publish your advertisement for your shipping company in my Back to Godhead magazine, free of charge. Because at that time, Prabhupada's magazine, in the West had really taken off. So when Srila Prabhupada landed back in India, he wrote to a very dear disciple. Dear disciple means that disciple that does something special for the spiritual master, that pleases the spiritual master. So Brahmananda Swami was very dear to Prabhupada, exceptionally dear to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada wrote to him and said that the Macmillan contract, if you see a Bhagavad Gita, see 1972. The Macmillan contract is important. They agreed to print my Bhagavad Gita. I will be glad, if they print it, to see hundreds and thousands of men, Prabhupada says, and women, Hare Krishna, who will read my books and use the money that you make, Brahmananda Swami, for the development of the American house. That's what Prabhupada wrote. He wrote this on August 2nd, 1967. Now, this Bhagavad Gita was so important to Srila Prabhupada because he saw it Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Because of Krishna's own words. He's speaking to his beloved friend Arjuna. When Prabhupada was initiated in 1933, 6 years later, in 1939, he had already written a very lengthy commentary on Bhagavad Gita in English, 1,000 pages. So when he came to New York in 1965, he gave priority to his. But when he was in India, that 1,000-page commentary, when he arrived there, the manuscript and the typewriter was stolen. Hare Krishna. But Prabhupada was so determined to give Bhagavad Gita that he rewrote the commentary. Like a copy or something. He had to rewrite it, another 1,000-page long. He finished it in the year 1967, and we hear Prabhupada giving lectures from those manuscripts. He was so determined to give this knowledge to the world, dear devotees, that he made extraordinary. When that book appears in your hand or on your bookshelf or home, just remember what I'm about to tell you, so you can see how this book has descended in such a phenomenal way. You see, there was a poet. His name was Ginsberg, a Jewish man. He became friends with Prabhupada. He was also a publisher and an author. So Prabhupada showed him this manuscript and said, "Can you try and please get my Gita published?" But nobody was interested in publishing it because the Bhagavad Gita, they said, had no commercial value. So there was a disciple who was an academic, Rai Ram Prabhu. Prabhupada asked him, and he couldn't get it done. That's when Prabhupada turned to Brahmananda Swami. He just simply put the manuscript in his hands and said, "You must get this published." Hare Krishna. Forget about getting an order, instruction. When the spiritual master puts the manuscripts in your hand, if Ginsberg couldn't do it, Rai Ram Prabhu couldn't do it, Brahmananda, you do it. Of course, Brahmananda had no experience about book publishing. He knew he had the order, but he didn't have the experience. But Krishna was arranging something miraculous. You see, around this time, Prabhupada, the ISKCON movement had an album called the Happening Album. Have you ever heard of that album, Happening? It had all of these devotional songs in it. And it was a real hit. And there was somebody, people would write in. Those days there was no WhatsApp and all of that. So somebody wrote in for a copy of this album. And it so happened from Macmillan. It had a Macmillan. And Macmillan was the biggest publisher at that time. So Brahman brought this letter to Srila Prabhupada. Hey, here's a letter here from Macmillan. And Srila Prabhupada, it's okay, you can hear me, yeah? Hare Krishna. It's okay, you can, yeah? You can hear me? Prabhupada was very impressed and pleased. Brahmananda brings his letter to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, "For this letter, you don't post the album. You personally deliver it. Do not post it." And Prabhupada said, "Tell them when you go there that you are a disciple of a guru from India."
Hare Krishna. 1, 2.
Put that one.
Yeah, I think
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada said, "Go and deliver this album to them. Tell them that you are a disciple from a guru in India. He has translated the Bhagavad Gita and they will publish it." And then Prabhupada says, "Do not worry." So Srila Prabhupada was so confident, in spite of his multiple difficulties. They stole the manuscript, he had to rewrite the manuscript. He approached other publishers, he was unsuccessful. He put this manuscript in the hands of his senior disciple who he had faith in and said, "Go and get it printed." Miraculously, a letter appears ordering this album magazine. So Brahmananda then put on a suit and a tie. He didn't want to go in his sannyas cloth. Just to deliver an album, imagine that. You wear a suit and a tie to go deliver an album. So he went to the Macmillan skyscraper building. And the person he met there was, unfortunately, an accountant. It was an accountant who was interested in yoga. It wasn't Macmillan per se, but he works for Macmillan. But he wrote this letter. So Brahmananda Swami went in very dutifully, handed him this album. All his hopes were dashed. He was disappointed. He exchanged pleasantries with the accountant. And knowing that that was the end of the road, it was all over. All of a sudden, this young accountant, somebody walks into the office. The person's name is James O'Shea Wade. Remember that, James O'Shea Wade. He appeared there, and the accountant introduces him to Brahmananda Swami and says, "This is the executive of Macmillan." Hare Krishna. So Brahmananda Swami, being an expert preacher, he seized the moment. After all, he was dressed for the occasion, right? He had his suit, he had his tie. So he tried to remember Srila Prabhupada's words verbatim, that I am a disciple of a guru in India who translated Bhagavad Gita. And he tells this to this editor. And you know what the editor does? The editor looks at him in absolute astonishment. He says, "What? We just published a full set of spiritual books and we are only missing the Bhagavad Gita." So imagine how shocked this devotee must have been. He was contemplating the potency of Srila Prabhupada's words, that they will publish it, do not worry. So this James Wade, he was the senior editor of Macmillan from 1965 to 1969. Krishna put him there. Srila Prabhupada came with his manuscript in 1965 when he started work there. The manuscript was stolen. In 67, Prabhupada rewrote it. In 68, the abridged version of Bhagavad Gita that you have appeared. The unabridged version came out in 1972. So Srila Prabhupada was not an ordinary person. He was not an ordinary person. He wrote the As It Is because somebody asked him to recommend the Bhagavad Gita. Of the 400 copies that were there in the world, he couldn't recommend in any of those. His books are carrying the insights of all the previous teachers, going all the way back to Krishna. Can you understand? It's a very special thing. So that Gita, it outsold all the academic translations, all the scholarly translations. Actually, last year, ISKCON distributed in 2 months 3,784,233 copies. Hare Krishna. Jagannath Puri Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Now we have Bhagavad Gita translated due to the favor of Mr. Wade, in Swahili, in Polish, in Japanese, in French, in Arabic, in Mongolian, in Creole, in all the languages of the world. And coming soon here in the KwaZulu of Natal, Isuzulu. I have the manuscript already, we're just editing it. So devotees, this Gita that Srila Prabhupada wrote the manuscript twice for, that you and I take, sometimes we may take it for granted. It's lying in our bookshelf. We want to share this with everybody in Phoenix, door to door. Every single home should have this Bhagavad Gita because it'll change their lives. So the appearance of Bhagavad Gita in 1967 was followed shortly after that by the appearance of Krishna book. You see, Srila Prabhupada was translating the Bhagavatam. He was anxious that he won't get to the 10th canto because he was elderly. So he wrote a summary study for the first time in the creation. Never ever was it ever done before. From the time of Lord Brahma, Srila Prabhupada took the 18,000 verses of Bhagavad Gita, of Bhagavatam that he intended to translate. He took the 335 chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. 90 chapters are on the Krishna book. So Prabhupada took those 90 chapters and put it into a book called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So in 1969, Srila Prabhupada, after he did that, he asked another disciple, Shyamasundar Prabhu, who was very close friends with the Beatles. Prabhupada said, go to George Harrison, ask him to sponsor this book. Now, naturally, Shyamasundar could not do that. I mean, the Beatles were like world-famous musicians, and he was feeling awkward. He had a genuine relationship with the Beatles. He would share the holy name with them. He would take prasad with them. He had a sweet relationship with them. He felt a request like this was off-putting. he was not comfortable to ask for a donation. Do you ever feel like that sometimes? You have to ask somebody for a donation, but you can't do it because it just doesn't sound. But Srila Prabhupada asked his disciples to do many, many difficult things. For example, let me give you an example. Opposite the 26th 2nd Avenue in America, there's a tombstone maker, a funeral parlor and a tombstone maker. Now, the tombstone is for the graveyard, you put in loving memory of. So Srila Prabhupada, one day, he sketches Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra with a pencil on a piece of paper. Big eyes, stubby hands, and he asks the devotee, go across to that tombstone place and ask them to carve a deity of Jagannath. So that devotee was shocked. A tombstone is for a graveyard. Srila Prabhupada is asking him to carve a deity? And generally Jagannath's carved from wood. So basically the tombstone maker, to carve a deity that will be worshipped. Now in a tombstone you don't worship. It's like, so the devotee was clearly disorientated. But he had faith in whatever Prabhupada asked him to do. Of course, in this particular case, the tombstone very courteously said, no, we don't do that. Our machines cannot cut it or something. But here's another example. Srila Prabhupada asked a devotee to go to the mayor of New York. Tell the mayor of New York that ISKCON has a 100% success rate for young people giving up drugs, and he must give us a certificate. Can you imagine Srila Prabhupada? Or he says, go to the mayor and ask the mayor to give us the land that's in the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens. We want to build a temple right there. Hare Krishna. The Brooklyn Botanical Gardens it's like a national heritage. Prabhupada said, go ask the mayor to give us the land. We want to build a temple. Then he says another time, he says a devotee, go to the office of UNESCO. UNESCO is a part of the United Nations. Tell them to give us one room. We want to have kirtan and prasad for all the United Nations delegates who come for all of these meetings. You see, Srila Prabhupada had a vision because he's not of this world. But the devotees had faith in whatever Prabhupada was saying. So Shama Sundar, he got this order from Prabhupada to go to George Harrison and get a donation for this Krishna book. It's a very hard task. Shama Sundar battled internally, externally, but his Guru Maharaj Prabhupada is saying it. So he made an arrangement to see George Harrison at the house of a famous sculptor in England. His name was David Wayne. Some of the other Krishna put these people in different places, So Shama Sundar made the arrangement to go to his house to have dinner. They invited George Harrison. But Srila Prabhupada could detect that Shama Sundar was extremely reluctant. So to encourage him, he says, Shama Sundar, you tell George Harrison, you inform George that this is my personal request. Bhaktivedanta Swami is requesting. And you will see that Krishna will help you say it. Because he could see that there's no way Shama Sundar was going to say this thing. So the very next day, Shama Sundar goes there, he's sitting on the table, time is going, the dinner is getting finished. He's trying to avoid the question, the words are not coming out, he can't possibly, he's waiting and waiting. And then there was a thunderstorm, a pounding on the roof, heavy thunderstorm, heavy downpour. And Shama Sundar took that as a sign from Krishna that he has to pop this question. That Krishna is telling him, you got to pop this question. So he starts to utter the word, just like under his breath. George, Srila Prabhupada requested. Now, just at that precise moment, as he uttered these words, there was a loud bolt of thunder that tripped the lights in pitch darkness. They're all sitting around the dinner table in total darkness. And Shama Sundar was relieved because he didn't know what would George's response be. But it took a few minutes, unlike here in South Africa when ISKCON load sheds us. They took a few minutes for the lights to come back on. And nervous Shama Sundar, as nervous as anything. He could see the smiling face of George Harrison when the lights came on. And George Harrison says, well, there's no arguing with that, right? If Swamiji wants it, we have to do it. Referring to Srila Prabhupada's request. So Srila Prabhupada was right. That, and Shama Sundar's faith in Srila Prabhupada's word, can you imagine, exponentially increased. Srila Prabhupada writes to George Harrison in 1970, February 16th, and thanks him for giving 19,000 US dollars to print the Krishna book. Of course, there's a Beatles manager, his name was Alan Klein, who was based in New York. He was meant to arrange for the transmission of this money. When Shyamasundar went there, he only gave, well, actually it was Brahmananda Swami who went there. He only gave him 1,900 US dollars. Prabhupada said he's cheating, make sure you get the 19,000. And Prabhupada was right, the person was cheating. He eventually gave Brahmananda the $19,000. And Brahmananda then gets onto a flight, dear devotees, and he was on his way to Japan. Because in Japan, there was a printing press called Dai Nippon. Dai Nippon in Japanese means Empire of the Great Japan. Now, Srila Prabhupada said whenever he printed a new book, he felt like he conquered an empire. When one book is published, Prabhupada says, I think I've conquered an empire. So Dai Nippon means empire. And these books now, with the $19,000, the books haven't manifested, but Brahmananda Swami has got the instruction. He successfully delivered the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada trusted him. He's got this $19,000 and he's on his way to Dai Nippon. You know, this Dai Nippon press was first established in 1876. Srila Prabhupada appeared in 1896. Krishna was making all the arrangements. When Prabhupada was in America, he was one of the first 10 people to get a special visa for America in 1965. So Krishna was making all of these arrangements in the background. So Prabhupada is very pleased with Dai Nippon Press because the teachings of Lord Chaitanya that you see was printed by Dai Nippon. So now Brahmananda Swami, he wants to, this is a very big project, it's 19,000 US dollars, it's the Beatles' money. It's 2 volumes, volume 1, volume 2 with color plates. He flies into Japan. We had a little ISKCON center. He stays there. And every day this Dai Nippon company will send a vehicle to pick him up, to bring him to the printing press. Brahmananda knows nothing about printing, but he just knows, I have to get this book done. So by going there, there was a certain subtle pressure. This was around 1970. Now you would remember 1970 is the famous San Francisco Rath Yatra. It's 90 days later. Brahmananda Swami tells Dai Nippon Press, we want these books to take it to the San Francisco Rath Yatra, which is in 90 days' time. And Srila Prabhupada is going to be there. I have to give him this Krishna book. So the executives of Dai Nippon looks at Brahmananda and says, a month and a half for these 2 volumes of books? It's impossible. Brahmananda said, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. Now, if you're in the printing business, you know it's not so easy to print 4-color, 2 volumes like that. So believe it or not, these Dai Nippon executives, these Japanese executives, they'd work every day till 10 o'clock in the night. That was their culture for service, etc. To get this book. Day after day, Brahmananda Swami went there. They were living in the printing press, some of their workers, in the complex. So days went by, San Francisco Rath Yatra was approaching. Brahmananda Swami was determined to get the book. The day arrived, he got his boarding pass, no book. The printers didn't finish. And actually it was, in fact, a physical impossibility to have done those 2 books in that time. So he was deeply disappointed. Brahmananda Swami gets to board the flight. You must have experienced this, right? You're walking up the stairway to board the flight. So as he was doing that, there's an air hostess standing on top of the plane asking him to stop. Because he was in his sannyas cow. So he was wondering what's going on. He's facing the air hostess. She's asking him to stop. And she's asking him to look behind. So he turns around and he looks behind. And he sees on the tarmac that there's a fleet of limousines. 12 black limousines. Well, and they've got these flags or something, and they're waving their hands desperately. And 12 people get out of these limousines. And Brahmananda Swami is looking from the stairway, looking at these limousines, and he's wondering, what on earth's happening? And then he recognizes some of these Japanese executives. So he goes out to the tarmac, and one of the executives comes out with a box, very carefully and reverentially handled, gives Brahmananda Swami this box. This box had 25 Krishna books in there. They appreciated that this was something very special unfolding. Brahmananda Swami has got tears in his eyes as he receives these books. He's holding the most precious cargo in the universe, the CV of God. No one knows about what God does. These books, somebody translated them, took them from the ancient Sanskrit language and put them into these books that are in English. And he's now receiving this cartoon on an airport in Japan. So with gratitude and appreciation, his heart was full with joy that he had fulfilled Srila Prabhupada's words. And while he was thinking about this, he gets into the plane takes off. High in the clouds, Brahmananda is thinking that Krishna and Prabhupada conspired once again to play their magical tricks. Contemplating, he's thinking, I should open this box, because he was eager to see what this looks like. But remember, he was trying to rush these books to Srila Prabhupada, so he wanted Prabhupada to open them. You know? But the enormity of the moment, the enormity of the publication, he could not help himself. He tore open the box, and he was relishing the contents of this box, 30,000 feet above sea level. In this box, there were only 25 copies. Now, as I was saying, that one gets to receive this most precious gift, these 2 volumes, hardbound, of all these pastimes of Krishna. You see, some people say Srimad Bhagavatam has 14,000 verses. You heard this? We say, Prabhupada says it's 18,000 verses. 18,000 verses refers to what's called granthas. Granthas. A grantha means a verse with 32 syllables. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, you see in the 11th chapter, many verses are very long. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam in the 5th canto, if you study Bhagavatam, many verses are very long. So if you take all of the syllables and you divide it by 32, you'll come to 18,000. So it depends how you count it. So this 90 chapters that was in this book was clearly very precious. So Brahmananda Swami is turning the book around and he's admiring it. And next to him is sitting an American businessman who's intrigued by all of this. The expression on Brahmananda's face, perhaps, and the way he opens the book. And he says to him, what have you got there? What is this? Because it's like a mystical thing. He says, what have you got there? And Brahmananda Swami says, oh, it's my spiritual master's book. It's about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I mean, the person next to him would have no clue what is this about. But Brahmananda Swami is already wired in a different world. Every devotee of Krishna in the Sankirtan movement is wired differently. Right? Because they want to give the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we published it with Dai Napon, he says with pride. Yeah? So the businessman looks at him and says, so how much does it cost for a copy? Now, obviously, there was no price that, Brahmananda just says, $20. I mean, $20 is like expensive that time. And the businessman says, yes, I'll have a copy, please. So Brahmananda introduces the first Krishna book, 30,000 feet above sea level, for $20. Now imagine that man's good fortune. We don't know where that man is, but he received the first Krishna book in the creation. So when Brahmananda Swami arrives in San Francisco, he's feeling bad that he opened the box. You see, a disciple in dealing with his spiritual master has to be very careful. Because Shastras say that the disciple should not even walk in the shadow of the spiritual master. So it was meant to be opened by Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada, of course, was very pleased that the Krishna book was done. He looked at it, he was happy with it. He saw one was missing. Srila Prabhupada pays attention to the detail. He was even more pleased when he heard that the one book was distributed on the flight. So San Francisco Ratha Yatra started. There was a cart made. You have Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and there was a cart for the books also. Krishna book was put on that cart, and within 20 minutes, all 24 books were sold. So you see, devotees, this is an extraordinary descent of Krishna book in the most amazing way. And Srila Prabhupada is giving the world such an extraordinary pass, a gift, this Krishna book, and he took no credit for it. You see, Srila Prabhupada was extremely humble. Srila Prabhupada's humility is not what we read in the Oxford Dictionary for definition of humility. Let me illustrate this to you. You see, Srila Prabhupada is such an exalted acharya that his exaltedness is an expression you see through his compassion, that he wants to give everybody what he knows, what he has seen, what he has experienced, what he has realized, that there's a chance to go back home, back to God, and be eternally with Krishna. So he gave a seemingly impossible. He gave the world and all the future people of Kali Yuga an opportunity to love Krishna, to go back to Krishna. And he was so humble, so magnanimous, so gracious. And I said, I want to illustrate this to you. Let me say this and conclude with this. You see, in 1968, Srila Prabhupada was called Swamiji. Everyone called Prabhupada Swamiji. So at that 61st, 2nd Avenue, at that time, devotees addressing Prabhupada as Swamiji, and Prabhupada responded, undeniably. But he inherited, Srila Prabhupada inherited his Guru Maharaj's mission, his Guru Maharaj's blessings. He himself is a servant of his Guru Maharaj. He had no desire to be acknowledged, that his name should be any different. But Krishna would not allow it. Krishna would make sure that Srila Prabhupada was appropriately recognized. So there was one devotee, Gaura Sundar. He was studying Sanskrit. And he had lots of questions for Prabhupada, because Prabhupada is a Sanskrit scholar. So one day he pitches up on the doorway and says, Swamiji, I've been learning suffixes and prefixes, in Sanskrit, the words. I was wondering if it's all right to call, and then he saw Govinda Dasi sitting there taking a dictation from Srila Prabhupada. Is it possible to call Govinda Dasi Ji? And Prabhupada shook his head. He said, no. That's a third-class word. Ji is a third-class word. You should not call Govinda Dasi Ji. It's not very good, not very first-class form of address. So immediately Govinda Dasi, her eyes opened wide. She was very intelligent. She said, but Swamiji, we call you Swamiji. If it's a third-class word, why are we addressing you like that? You know what Prabhupada said? He said, no, it's not a very big thing. It's not important. But for the disciple, Govinda Dasi, who was there, just happened to be sitting in the conversation, taking a dictation. For her, it was the most important thing in the universe that Prabhupada said a few seconds away, that this G is not a very respectful way of addressing somebody. And Prabhupada says, no, it's not a very big thing, it's not important. But for the disciple, she was not hearing any of that. She said, Srila Prabhupada was not moved by her appeal. He was so humble, but he was pressed. She never let him go. She wanted to make sure that she understood. Then she says, Swamiji, what are the possible names we could address you? And you know what Prabhupada says? Well, generally the spiritual master is dressed as Gurudev, as Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada is nice. So Govinda Das is still determined to know what is the best of the multiple choice of the three. The Prabhupada must say it. She protested. There is three options. Said, give us one. And Prabhupada replied, Srila Prabhupada is nice. That's how from 1968, Srila Prabhupada was addressed as Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So from the lotus lips of such a humble acharya, a request is being made. He is saying, please distribute my books. He is saying, where is book? Where is book? He is saying, if you want to please me, distribute my books. So here we have, dear devotees, we have an opportunity to respond to the request of the most humble acharya and spiritual teacher and devotional teacher and spiritual master that anyone in this creation will ever have an opportunity to experience. And he has directed a request to everyone sitting here across the world. Those are his followers and his disciples. Please distribute my books. So whatever we can do, according to your ability, your capacity, distribute one book in the month of December for Prabhupada's pleasure. And watch how much of blessings you would get for that. Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So do you have any comments or questions? Yes. You can speak, I'll repeat your question, right? Jai. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Anybody? There's just some questions coming. But you can appreciate how valuable Krishna book is, right? Huh? It didn't just appear like some ordinary book. Any other comments or questions? Can we end here? Yeah? Prabhanu? We have 10 minutes. We can have a kirtan, I think, for 10 minutes. Yeah? This question? Oh, yeah. So Raj Kishore and his team are waiting at the back for those of us who feel inclined. And hopefully after hearing something about Prabhupada's efforts, we do feel inclined to take a form, fill out this form, take a few books, and you will be tremendously blessed. So how many of us need these forms? Unfortunately, there's only 2 here. Oh, we got 1,000 at the back. Okay, there we go. Please make sure you get your form, okay? Okay? Who's going to help distribute at least one book? Something. Please raise your right hand, right in front of Jagannath. Hare Krishna. Are we going to play the harmonium? Oh, what is that? Oh, you got more stuff. Oh yeah, there's a draw going on here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Braj Kishore Prabhu is being very humble, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. So all his endeavors to distribute Prabhupada's books have borne fruit this entire year, well from last year when he's taken over. So thus far in the marathon we've distributed 995 books actually. So what we'd like, if more devotees would take those forms or make teams that you can and distribute as many as Srila Prabhupada's books as you possibly could. The target for New Jagannath Puri this year is 10,000. How many of you think we can do that? Come. How many of you? Few. Put your hand right up actually. Yeah, we can. It's not impossible actually. We have another, 4 weeks to go, Braj Kishore. So we've done 1,000 so far. We have to do 9,000 in another 3 or 4 weeks actually. So I think it's possible. So today we've come up with a way of reciprocating with those devotees that are participating in the book marathon at the moment. So the names are inside that kalash, and Govardhan Prabhu will draw it, and if the person is in the temple room today, right now, they will get the gift that's sitting next to him actually as well. Then we'll do every single Sunday from now until the end of the book marathon actually. So Govardhan Prabhu.
So it says here, Iksha Maharaj.
Iksha Maharaj, is she here?
Ah, there you are. Hare Krishna.
There, she's got a gift. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. Hey.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So,
anyone wants to audit this thing? No? Do you accept the... Okay.
So before Govardhan Prabhu starts Kirtan, I just want Deva Prabhu to read out that letter that ISKCON sent for the Bangladeshi so that you can actually try and pray for these devotees that are in Bangladesh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I think we all must be aware about the Bangladesh situation. Especially those who are on social media, you'll see lots of posts going around. So there's the communication from the International Communication Ministry that I'm just going to read out. It's titled A Call for Prayers for Bangladesh at all ISKCON temples. All ISKCON temples and communities around the world are called upon to organize special prayers and kirtans this Sunday, December the 1st, asking Lord Krishna to protect our devotees and all religious minorities in Bangladesh. The International ISKCON Governing Body Commission, Executive Committee, the EC, under the chairmanship of Guru Prasad Swami and with the support of the Global Communications Ministry, is calling upon all devotees and friends of ISKCON to join together this Sunday at ISKCON temples worldwide to offer prayers for our fellow Vaishnavas and other minorities in Bangladesh. On Sunday, the day that ISKCON temples host their largest congregational functions, devotees and temple leaders are asked to offer their Sunday kirtans programs in call for the well-being and protection of the devotees in Bangladesh. Temple communities are also asked to offer the following special prayer in the spirit of global harmony. Dear Lord Krishna, dear Lord Chaitanya, kindly bless and protect all the devotees and other religious minorities in Bangladesh. May the current social tensions be peacefully resolved, and may lasting harmony be established in the land of Bangladesh. Many are asking what they can do to help the devotees in Bangladesh, said Guru Prasad Swami. We are asking all ISKCON devotees and friends to offer their heartfelt prayers, especially this Sunday and over the next few weeks, for the well-being of the ISKCON devotees and other minorities in Bangladesh. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So please, having this kirtan with Govardhan Prabhu now while the arti is on, try and keep these devotees in mind and offer some prayers for their welfare. We also like to thank all of you for those that sponsored those tables for Prasadam. So next week Sunday will be our first trial run of everybody seated at those tables, Prasadam in a nice manner, and we hope that we'll be able to do this successfully. It's a quick reminder that on the 14th we have this big feed that we're trying to accomplish with the 1,500 per pot of biryani that we want to distribute on the 14th. So if you know anybody that will be able to help us, so please put us in contact with those persons, or you can speak to them yourself. And we need help for cleaning and cooking and distributing on the day. So we would really appreciate everybody's help. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So we're going to dedicate the next 5 minutes or 8 minutes chanting and begging the Lord of the universe that somehow or the other he saves his devotees in Bangladesh. Okay? You do that? So please clap and be enthusiastic so we can appeal to Lord Jagannath to do that. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath Swami, Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Baladev, Jaya Baladev, Jai Baladev, Jaya Jai Baladev. Jaya Shupadra, Jaya Shupadra, Jai Shupadra, Jaya Jaya Shupadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Shama Sundara, Jai Jagannath. Jaya Baladev, Jai Baladev, Rohini Nandana, Jai Baladev. Jaya Shupadra, Jaya Shupadra, Jai Maharani, Jaya Shupadra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Clap your hands. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribal, 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 Nitai Gora Haribal. Nitai Gora Haribal, 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 Nitai Gora Haribal. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sringadev Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. So I also want to just take a moment just to thank Prabhanu Prabhu, our temple president here, for all his service and keeping everything together, and these frontline servants of Prabhupada, the Phoenix management team. We're very grateful to you. And also to His Grace Deva Deva Prabhu, who's our regional secretary person, regional lead responsible for the whole of KwaZulu-Natal, who's taking Sunday off to drive with me now to Richards Bay to see our temple there. We're grateful for that. So thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada's movement is in the hands of his devotees. So the more we cooperate, the more we can work together, the more we expand, isn't it? We fill our hearts with joy and happiness and everything we are looking for when we cooperate with Srila Prabhupada's servants. So I make a special request to you. So please do that. Ananta Kuti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
His Grace Govardhan Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So I'm sure you are inspired after hearing about the transcendental appearance of Bhagavad Gita and Krishna book by Govardhan Prabhu, and I hope and pray that you will take some books before you leave. As many as you possibly can, so that we can get to the 10,000 target that we need actually. So stretch yourself during the holiday period, try and take a break from the material world and engage in a transcendental activity of distributing books actually. So we'll rise for RT now, and then His Grace Govardhan Prabhu will leave because he has to go to Richards Bay like he just said actually. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Govardhan Prabhu. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai, Gaura Sundar Nitai, Gaura Sundar, Jaya Nitai, Gaura Sundar Nitai, Gaura Sundar. 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 Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Gauranga, 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 Gora, Gora, Gora Hare, Gora, Gora, Gora Hare, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Gora Hare, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Gora Hare, Oh Nitai, 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 Nitai Gaurango, Nitai, 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 Nitai Gaurang, Oh Nitai, 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 Nitai Gaurang, Gaurango, Nitai, 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 Nitai Gaurang, Oh Nitai, 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 Nitai Gaurango, Nitai, 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 Nitai Gaurango, Gora, Gora, Gora Hare, Gora, Gora, Gora Hare, Jai Satchinandana, Gora Hare, Jai Oh Jai Satchinandana, Gora Hare, Jai Satchinandana, Gora Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya 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 Jaya. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Go Hari Bo, Nitai Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo, Nitai Gora Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, 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 Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, O Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, O Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhava Tume, O Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, O Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Pada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo, Nitai Go. Jayam Vishnupad, Prahamsa Prabhupada Sutta Srishimat. His Divine Grace abides at another Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON Samstapakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. BBT Founders Srila Prabhupada